The Jim and Terry Show, where everyone...
has their head up somebody's butt, that's for sure. You know you're all wrong if you're not listening to us, every one of you.
The Jim and Terry Show is absolutely right about everything we've ever said all the time.
That's right, send us money, for Pete's sake, send us money.
Send us money is...
You dare save money for your future, you send it to us right now.
Jim is doing his best to say something and repeat it with the notion that if we say anything with this emphasis and repeat it ad nauseum, people will eventually believe that whatever we said was real.
Well, we'll find them, Terry. We'll find them. They'll be out there. All you got to do is say something a little bit bizarre or something that goes against the current, and people are going to go, I'm going to listen to that guy. He sounds smart. I'm going to go with him. And they go on.
Somebody sounds smart. Or do they dress smart?
Or they just got a conviction. That's
So
why
they
everybody
say-
seems to want to be yelling at
So
everybody.
you just say it loudly and proudly and you
or
convince
firmly,
people?
Or firmly.
Firmly.
Yeah.
Okay, give me an example of firmly.
I hate your shirt, Terry. I'm sorry, I hate it. I don't know where. Did your mother dress you today?
Oh, personal slander.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's not just firmly, it's firmly plus attacking.
Yeah, or just firmly. For instance, Brazil has all control over all lithium. Did you know that?
No.
Oh, Canada's just opening up 2 lithium patches north of Ontario, and we have the biggest copper mine, one of them in the whole entire world. But you know how you get around that? You invest in lithium. This is how you get around it. Well, the show has nothing to do with the money I make supporting the lithium,
Are you into Bitcoin as well?
probably.
Like, I'm trying to figure out where this is going.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm sorry. I don't mean to, and I don't want to belittle anybody in the thinking, but I've come to this place where if you're so passionate, all you got to do is throw out information. I'll give you an example, okay? Did you know that Ontario has the most illegitimate children born per capita in the entire world? Did you know that? And did you know out of those illegitimate children, 50% of all crimes are caused by these children? Are you aware of that?
Wow.
Now, I got some film here in Brazil about their lack of illegitimate children. Oh, wait, okay, never mind. You get my point.
Yes.
And you just keep on and on and on. Someone's going to believe that.
So what is this theme about for this podcast, Jim? Can you...
We're all being played. Everybody's
we're all being
played.
played. Okay.
I did receive something concerning the lithium and how Africa is rebelling against America. The dollar's going to go down the tubes. That may happen. I'm telling you, part of it may be true. I don't know. But and they're going to hold on to their natural environment and everything and all the rest of it. One of the things is precious commodities like lithium, and you need lithium. No further did I hear that whole thing, and oh, by the way, it broke into some ad, and this is when I checked out about, this guy, you want to invest in lithium or something. So driving here today, what do I hear? The Ontario government just made a contract with a company that's building lithium batteries, to the tune of billions upon billions of dollars, and we're going to be mining our own lithium. Did you know Canada had lithium?
Yes.
Yeah, north of Thunder Bay, there's lithium fields, or wherever they're called, and they're going to be mined within the next couple of years, 2 to 5 years. I think they're going to be mined, and they're huge lithium patches. So the world doesn't need to depend on just Brazil or Africa for its lithium. You get my point. Mm-hmm. But if it's said firm enough, and then I said to you, now, if you want to invest in the lithium company that I'm with called We Are Lithium, and we're an Ontario company, this would be a good time to get in at $400 a share.
So you're saying follow the money.
Follow the money in just about everything on the face of this earth.
Okay, so is the part of the problem the sensationalizing of opinions? Like these things where you say it's this or nothing. It's absolutely this or it's absolutely wrong. Is it the absolutes that
well,
get people?
One of our problems is things come along, and we were going to talk about JFK too, because again,
RFK Jr.
I received stuff about him, and we were going to talk a little bit about that as well. But what happens is, if I'm convinced of something, like I'm convinced salvation's through Christ and Him alone. So I would take something really good and pass that on, and it gets passed on to all the people who believe in that. And then eventually I may pass it to someone who I think is lost and really needs it, and I send it to them.
Is that why I didn't receive it?
Yeah. But you get the idea. We click into what we want to believe, and that's where we go. And we tend, I've told you this before, we tend to lean towards the place that's going to confirm our already preconceived idea.
We call that confirmation bias.
Like, for instance, the whole idea about NATO. NATO isn't an advancing force of any kind. What it is people join NATO. We got Finland and Switzerland as it wants to join.
Sweden
wants to join.
Finland already joined.
Yeah, they want to join NATO.
Right.
NATO's not saying you have to join us. We got a gun to your head. The reason they want to join NATO is because of Mother Russia or Father Russia wants to take the world. And so NATO has advanced because those countries said, we want you to help protect us. We want to be a part of your system.
Yeah.
Help protect us.
Strength in numbers.
Yeah, it's not a government even advancing. And there's certain conditions you have to meet if you're going to be a part of NATO, like human rights and freedoms and all kinds of different things if you want to be a part of NATO. They're not just going to defend China, for instance. China couldn't be a part of NATO.
NATO is an association of democracies, by the way.
Yes, of individual democracies, and they don't advance and say, how are we going to take to Ukraine? And everybody keeps saying this, and Ukraine was wanting to be a part of NATO, and NATO refused to accept them.
Yeah.
But you'll never hear that on those who are going to say, oh, NATO advanced this far. You cannot. That's like saying Christianity, you can't advance it. You can't say to a country who says, I like the United States, or I like Canada, or I like Canada, United States, Russia, England, I like the way in which they do it. Can we join you? It's not, we're taking you over. Can we join you? We don't even have the same economic setup.
Was there some island, correct me if I'm wrong, but some island in the Caribbean that wanted to join Canada?
Yes, it was the Caicos. Was it Caicos?
Was it Turks and Caicos?
Turks and Caicos, and I wish we did. Yeah, twice they've tried to do that.
Yes.
They've tried to join Canada.
I think maybe we should become imperialists.
Oh, I would love to take that
vacation in Turks and Caicos.
Yeah, and sure it would be a welfare country for a while, but as soon as you get the hotels and everything up and running, and you and me can go there without even a passport.
The Jim and Terry show.
Yeah, without a passport.
On location.
A tropical island for
Paradise,
Canada.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it. We should do it.
We're laughing at this stuff. All right. So that's a whole bunch of stuff that you've just you've been very passionate about and convincing about.
Well, because I think I've been had too, Terry. I think we've all been had. I think we're all being played.
Okay.
All of us.
Okay. I need some evidence.
I know you. You have to find that for yourself. Okay. You know what if they're doing this for this reason and you think that's why they're doing this, but wait a minute. Maybe they want you to think that's why they're doing this.
Well,
I think we're just being played.
My safe position is agnosticism, which is saying, I don't really know. I think this, but I don't really know.
Yeah.
And that affords a degree of acceptance of other diverse opinions. If I'm not sure, then I'm going to cut you some slack. The one thing I drew the line at, and we had a conversation this morning on the deck with our morning coffee, was science. And the vaccine hesitancy, the proclamation, and that's why we're getting to RFK. We might not get to him in this podcast. I'm not sure how much time is, but we will pick that up. Where somebody is in denial that COVID was even real, or that the vaccines worked or did not work, or that Big Pharma was in control of the whole thing, including development of the virus in a Wuhan lab that was developed by Fauci. So Fauci's in with Big Pharma creating the thing, and then creates the vaccine to solve the problem. If you go down these rabbit holes, I need evidence to justify these things. And what one person considers evidence may not be what somebody else considers evidence, and that is where we are at. Evidence, for some, is convincing. For others, it's, what are you thinking? And I'll give you the best example that I encountered was my own sibling who said, watch this video on Bill Gates talking about population control. And so he sent me the clip and said, watch, and he gave me the time marker. Watch this. Is that not evil? And I said, I don't know that we're watching the same video, except I'm clicked on your link. I'm at the timeline, but that's not what he's saying there at all. And that takes us to a note that I just jotted down as you were going on about stuff, which is context is everything. Context and history. If you know those two things, you can sort out a lot of fact from fiction, and not all evidence is created equally.
And I think
Sort
that's
it
what
out.
I think that's what RFK is doing a bit of.
I think so, and we'll leave that with our listening audience. RFK Jr. We'll get into him.
By the way, those statistics about Canada having the most illegitimate child, that
all-
was pure made up.
It was all
Yeah.
fake until it comes down to one of the.
No, it's real. I know it is. I told you it was real.
When it comes down to one of the communities near where I live, in which that claim is
Oh, really?
yes.
I made that up totally,
yeah,
folks.
There
Don't sue
you
me.
go. Okay, made it up, and yet we can talk about it and ask for evidence. That's where we're at. How do you tell somebody's telling you the straight goods or leading you astray? That's another topic I'd like to get to. The whole idea of discernment. So when I listen to people speak, body language, words, the vocabulary, the tone, the inflection, the Alex Jones, all of that stuff. Can you tell who's telling you the truth by all of those indicators? Stay tuned. The Jim and Terry Show. Where we go is anybody's guess.
Who knows?
Who knows? But Jim had a good breakfast. So
I
he's
forgot my pants.
he's
Where's
ready
my
to-
pants?
It's a good thing you're behind the desk, my friend. Bye-bye for now.